Fandoms, an inside view. Fandoms exist all over. If you can think about something, it probably has a fandom associated with it. Like movies, such as Harry Potter, video games, such as Zelda, and even shows, like Adventure Time. We asked our audience a couple of questions about their fandoms. Our first question was, what fandoms or interests are you a part of?
I follow avidly several other um, several other things with large fandoms. I'm an avid follower of the Star Wars universe, Warhammer 40K. I've read the Heresy series. I played the tabletop mini for Heresy. Lord of the Rings. I've read the Lost Tales, the Silmarillion, the Hobbit, obviously the trilogy. Probably more than my fair share of particularly Lord of the Rings.
I have plenty of things which I have a lot of interest in, a number of video games, I was part of the World of Warcraft base for a while, and I'm getting into the Sons of the Solar Empire now, which can be a kind of an inclusive group here on campus. Some shows.
So how would you say that fandoms affect your life?
Well, they can. Let's see. I guess recently I was watching Jericho, which is a TV series basically chronicling what would happen to the U.S. after a major nuclear terrorist attack. But it's about 2 seasons in length, and I was watching it while I was busy working. I loved the show, but I found that I was watching in all my spare time, and it was taking away from work a little bit, because I would go through 3 or 4 hour episodes at night while I was working and getting ready for bed, and so I guess it did kind of detract in that way, but I didn't find that I was shirking off other responsibilities to go for it. It was still just something to occupy my spare time and to relax, really. Okay. It hadn't gotten unhealthy yet.
Right.
Well, what I find when I'm doing this is when I get interested in something, I tend to go for very short stints of it. For about a month and a half. When I got the game Skyrim when it came out, I played it played it very heavily for about a month and a half, and then I kind of stopped. When I went through my Lord of the Rings kick, that one lasted about 6 months, and I was very heavily into it. It was all consuming. It didn't so much really impact my ability to do other things. It's just whenever I had free time, that was where it went. Unless if I had social obligations, school was a priority sometimes. Other things like that, they came first. But no, I didn't generally find that my fandoms interfered too much with my life.
I've had a lot of friends that are really, really big into Twilight, which I am not very big into. Like, I liked the books, but the movies were not good, and I have friends that are like, Twilight this, Twilight that, Twilight, 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 and it's really annoying.
So as you can see, there's a lot of different opinions when it comes to fandoms. So let's delve a little bit deeper and see what else we can find. Do you think that fans are overall crazy, or do you think that there could be like some sort of divide between the fans who are crazy and the fans who are just, trying to be normal?
Well, I mean, you're going to have that divide in basically any group. Those who are fanatical and those who are a little bit more moderate by comparison. And fandoms are no different. I mean, you can find the same kind of thing if you go to a Comic-Con. I have friends who go, and I've gone to a couple myself. And I have one friend in particular who is into steampunk, and Victorian era steampunk cosplay. And nice guy, interesting to talk to, but I don't think I've ever seen him not dressed in character. He seems to just live his life in this character cosplay, which is, I guess, good for him, but it seems a little odd to me. You know, it is a little fanatic in nature. Whereas I have other friends who think it's just kind of fun to dress up like a Wookiee and go to a convention.
All right, that's fair.
You know, but it's not like most of them aren't like wearing the T-shirt around all the time or any of that.
I think there can be, because there are sometimes those like really insane people, but then there are also some people that are just kind of chill, that are like, yeah, I really like it, yeah, I know all the things about it, but I'm not gonna dress up like Edward and get gold contacts so that I look like a vampire. Like, there are extremists, and there are people that are like, oh yeah, good stuff, I like that.
Do I find that they're a bit sane? Yes, I would say that they are a bit sane. I think they're also partially a little insane at times. I don't think it's terrifyingly abnormal. I've got a lot of I've got several of my friends who claim to be members of the Pony Fandom, MLP, My Little Pony Fandom, and it doesn't very much impact the rest of what they do, but it is something that, you know, they'll wear the stupid T-shirts, they'll have the stupid belts, but it's, you know, other than making a couple of strange stylistic choices, I don't think it really cuts in too much to what they do, to what they end up doing. No more than somebody watching, rather than going on, say, Facebook and scrolling through that, they instead watch My Little Pony episodes.
How much time would you say that you or others spend on their fandoms?
Well, actually, probably a lot. I find I have the kind of work where I spend lots and lots of time sitting behind a desk and staring at my screen, and so the natural draw is there to go and check and read about what's new in the news, different fan groups and their opinions on such. It's like when I signed up for Pottermore, and I'm not a Harry Potter buff by any means, but when I signed up for Pottermore, I was doing it mostly for the personality test at the beginning, but I found that I ended up spending, you know, it's like Facebook. You just work for a little while, and then you're doing this other thing for probably more time than you should. And that's really how my involvement in these kind of things take place. I just end up spending more of my free time than I'm comfortable with engaged in them.
Me personally, I tend not to spend terribly much time with Warhammer 40K, the tabletop game that they have. You've got these little models that you buy and that you paint them and you assemble them how you want, and then you put them on the field and you play with them. So I'll spend maybe an hour a week, maybe two, usually less, doing that. What I find is it gives me a sort of an artistic outlet when I want some time for everybody else to just go away and leave me alone. I'll tell people, hey, I'm painting my dolls, go away. But, you know, generally speaking, no, I don't find I put much time into these.
So now we can see that people are more generally accepting of these fans, as well as being able to see how these fandoms really affect the people who are fans of them. Do you think fans bring a positive or negative influence to their fandom?
I think there are two sides to that, because there are the people that are like true fans that just really love the material, and then there are people that go completely insane and do weird things with the material.
Right.
Like I read a thing one time that was like this chick talking about how J.K. Rowling stole the idea from Sirius Black from Twilight, because apparently Sirius Black is a werewolf. And like things like that I can find degrading to the material, whereas people that just genuinely like the material, that are just really big fans, are much different than that, and they don't degrade it in the way that other people do.
You know, there are a lot of cases where, let's take Doctor Who. People have gone on and on and on about Doctor Who and how great he is, and it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, really, because people were a little too crazy about it, and so I kind of wasn't a big fan, and then that was sort of reinforced when I finally watched an episode. And the intro to this is Doctor Who standing, looking shocked down a hallway, and says, "But it's dinosaurs on a spaceship," and that kind of made me facepalm a little bit, because dinosaurs on a spaceship just made me a little sad. Yeah, I think over-enthusiastic fans can be a detriment to a fandom, but at the same time, they can also bring on a lot of people that wouldn't otherwise have watched it. A lot of people that I know have said, well, before I start criticizing it, I'm going to watch it, and so I know what I'm criticizing. And then they watch it, and then they get swallowed by the amalgamous blob that is the fandom.
Well, fandoms have the benefit of producing a lot of revenue for whatever group they're part of. So, you know, naturally, if I was a big Jericho buff and I wanted to see more episodes, I would probably find myself being more engaged in that fandom, only because I would want to add to the momentum that was already trying to get more episodes out there. But you know, that's just in kind of a people motivating the industry kind of way. I'm thinking about Star Trek and the vast amount of time and man-hours that's gone into maintaining that particular Star Trek universe. And you know what? I think it does provide a benefit, in that the Star Trek universe with the series was interesting. It was a good concept. It was fun to watch. Captain Kirk was always a hit, busting in and double fist bashing some guy. But when the fans get it and start taking it over, and you've got thousands of people, tens of thousands of people spending lots and lots of time, countless hours, adding to, maintaining this universe, coming along, I found that the Star Trek universe is now massive, to the point where it might, in fact, be a functional universe. And imagine if you could harness that kind of power. Like if we were able to take the Star Trek universe and apply it to something meaningful. When we get to the point where we're doing space exploration and trying to find code of ethics or whatnot for interstellar travel. How interesting would it be if we start referencing the Star Trek fan universe to help provide that kind of compass? So, I think that fandoms ultimately will make some people uncomfortable in the amount of time and effort that they're spending in it, but at least people are spending this time and effort. You know, at least they're engaged in something, which is you know, more than I could hope for a lot of people.